Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Colleen Ballinger allegations, specifically taking a look at an article released by Vanity Fair covering them. Now, if you are a regular on this channel, Colleen Ballinger being in the hot seat doesn't come as a surprise to you, but in case this is your first time hearing about it, do check out our other videos covering this topic in detail. Long story short, Colleen Ballinger, also known as Miranda Sings, is under a lot of scrutiny right now over allegations of grooming and having inappropriate relationships with her fans who are minors. One of those ex-fans, Adam McIntyre, spoke up in a video titled Colleen Ballinger Stop Lying about his experience being in Colleen's fandom 3 years ago. This started a 3-year snowball that has now grown into a sea of evidence in videos, screenshots, and anecdotes from many past members of Colleen's fandom depicting inappropriate conversations and a parasocial relationship between Coleen and her fans. This has also, in turn, exposed people close to Coleen, Corey Soto, her ex-husband Joshua David, and her brother Trent Ballinger for participating in predatory and grooming behavior in her fandom as well. Now, this story had first started blowing up in the YouTube world, but that spilled out into mainstream media and has been covered by a lot of major outlets, including Huffington Post, Time Magazine, and Rolling Stone. These articles, for the most part, have had kind of a similar conclusion. These are allegations, but damning ones. The video evidence, the text screenshots, it's all overwhelmingly a bad look. However, on the 19th of July, Vanity Fair released an article titled How the Miranda Sings / Colleen Ballinger Scandal Went Off the Rails, where they talked about the situation. Now, as I was going through the article, things seemed normal. Like, yes, Colleen became famous from a persona resonated with outcast kids who found her desperate desire for fame to be oh so accurately cringe. But then they mentioned the Rolling Stone article, and they say late last month, Rolling Stone published a story alleging that Ballinger had engaged in inappropriate behavior with underage fans. Notice that the inappropriate behavior is in quotations. And then they went on to say, however inappropriate her alleged behavior was, the article clarified that no sexual crime had been committed, and that no evidence in review even hinted at the possibility that Ballinger had intended to start a sexual relationship with a child. That pretty much sets the tone for this article on the way that the journalist Andrew Quintana views this whole situation. Adam reacted to this article on his Twitch live stream with a clipped video titled Dear Vanity Fair / Andrew Quintana, where he talks about the reactions and backlash to the article. In the video, he talks about how he was not actually interviewed at all for this article, and as a result, they got many facts about him wrong. When he first read the article, he tweeted, "This article is laughable. The journalist is working closely with Colleen Ballinger's lawyer, and the journalist is on the record lying about information about me that is proven I told the truth about. They quote things against me that I have shown video proof of and text proof. It seems that there are a lot of people who share this view because the most liked comment under this post reads, 'Great comments from the actual victims you included. Oh wait, you didn't even bother reaching out to any victims.'" So in this video, Adam goes on to update his fans that outlines the awful Vanity Fair article that paints him as a sucker, in quotations, and a, quote, crazy person. He notes that Colleen's lawyers were heavily featured with multiple comments throughout the article, while Adam was not even asked for this. In this article, his lawyer calls the claims a regurgitation of the baseless and unsubstantiated claims that other media outlets and individuals on social media have reported previously. And they basically say that there is no evidence to really back those claims and make a generalized overview about this social media age, and how her downfall is part of something bigger. When they describe Adam, it's honestly kind of shocking with all we know. The article reads, on June 22nd, McIntyre posted a video to his channel titled, Colleen Ballinger Stop Lying. In it, McIntyre told several seemingly unrelated stories. One recounted the time Ballinger sent him lingerie in the mail. To his mother's horror, the lingerie was new and unworn, and Ballinger has since apologized for sending it. Another was intended to debunk the rumor that he was secretly behind some anti-Miranda Sings social media accounts that Ballinger had gotten wind of. A third concerned the fallout of a tweet that Ballinger allowed McIntyre to post, as Miranda Sings, from the character's Twitter account, that led him to never posting on her behalf again. He'd been considered her social media intern, he said, with hopes of being employed by her one day in that capacity. Ballinger says that he only had access to her account for one day, and that if all went well, she had planned to hire him formally. I can't be the only one who literally sees them making excuses for her behavior immediately after the accusations. Adam said that he would give them 24 hours to retract this article, or at the very least reach out for comment, and they did not. In his video, he talks about this farther.
So the purpose of the article is to paint me in a way that will basically make anything I say or have said not credible in any way, shape, or form. And so the article does these little things where they make these little jabs at me to try break down my credibility. And even one of the last things the article says was, well, 3 years ago, what was Adam expecting? Sympathy? Things like that, right?
He then goes on to say that there is little that he can say about this article, but things are happening behind the scenes and it is going, quote, a lot farther than he thought it was going to go. His mother even reached out to the journalist and has commented under the article asking to be reached out to. He then says that they did make a correction in the article and talks briefly about Andrew Quintana.
So Andrew Quintana, the journalist, and I will say his name because he's publicly on the record promoting this story and tagging me, by the way, and along the lines of the truth is finally out there, but yet he didn't reach out to me for comment, but was in Colleen's lawyer's ears, or they were in his. If you scroll down on this article, it says this story has been updated. So on the phone today, I was alerted that the story had been updated, not by anyone to do with Vanity Fair, but something I talked about previous, and we were searching through it, and there was one change made to the article, which means that Vanity Fair knew that there is inaccuracies in the story and chose to change something. Do you want to know what they changed?
He then goes on to explain that the only change they made was where he was born, because in the original version of the article, they said that he was born in Britain, England, but that is incorrect as Adam is Irish, not English, and he was born in Derry, Ireland. Adam was responding to an accusation from someone for sending a hate campaign to the journalist.
On his Instagram, he, on his story, starts reposting stories about how great the article is and how much research went into the article and that he's been working on it for so long and finally everything's out there, and was tagging me. This is how I found out about the article. And also, he posts on a grid photo and says, misinformation online is rampant. Only believe in trusted, reliable sources. He tagged me and didn't even tag Coleen. Yet Coleen was given the opportunity to respond. Her lawyers did. I wasn't, but I'm the one tagged. So then I repost this and I'm like, okay, so this is the only way we can contact you, because he doesn't have Twitter. And then he turned off all his comments. So there was a post from ages ago that had the comments on. So I reshared it and was like, so can we comment on this one if you're not, and turned them ones off and then went private.
Adam went on to say that he went private, and as he was checking his account, he got a shock.
He's blocked me.
Yes, guys, the journalist who didn't even reach out to Adam for comment on an article that depicts some of the most difficult times of his young adult life blocked him on social media. So much for journalistic integrity. In the rest of the video, Adam cannot get over the fact that this guy blocked him, but he goes on to talk about some controversial moments in the article.
Okay. Someone said, how do you even put two statements in the same article and not reflect on your framing of the situation? The magazine verified screenshots of which text that Ballinger asked a minor about their virginity status and their favorite sexual position. So they go, the magazine verified screenshots. And then 2 sentences later, go, no evidence in review even hinted at the possibility that Ballinger had intended to start a sexual relationship with a child. Number one, no one said that was Colleen's aim, but you have just put two things side by side saying that she was asking sexual questions and you're saying there was no evidence about anything to do with sexual. None of us, me, no one, said that Colleen Ballinger ever wanted to have a sexual relationship with us. We said that she was sexually inappropriate with us in the way that she would talk. There was no boundaries in terms of talking about sex or making jokes about sex.
A lot of other people agreed with this perspective, tweeting, oh my god, not the Vanity Fair author, literally blocking Adam McIntyre after Adam had reached out to him. After his entire factually incorrect and defamatory article had been written about Adam without ever asking him for comment. Another user said, sending explicit photos to minors is illegal in many countries of the world. On top of that, there are many defamatory claims within the article about the victims of Coleen, but sure, believe the abuser. Some members of the Colleen Ballinger Snark subreddit commented on the article's real-life impact with a post titled, Mom just tried to justify Coleen because she read the Vanity Fair article. This user then says, my mom told me she knows all about the drama because she read the Vanity Fair article and was trying to defend Colleen's perspective. Don't know what else to say here other than this is proof that the article is spreading harmful misinformation that people unfamiliar with the situation will believe as facts. In this video, Adam also alleges that Vanity Fair is continuously deleting and reposting the article on Twitter to try to eliminate most of the negative attention. Even if that is true, Vanity Fair still has plenty of negative comments under their tweet about the article, and the most liked under their most recent one reading, "It is absolutely unfucking fathomable that writer Andrew Quintana was unaware of the grossly distorted article written about Miranda Sings, aka Coleen. Either you or he were paid or wanted the clicks so badly that you acquiesced to doing a puff piece. As for all of the article's nuance, none of it was in favor of Adam McIntyre or the many other children that were exploited and abused. I suspect they had the privilege of reviewing and making some minor nuanced changes." Past victims like Josh and Becky also chimed in to say their piece on Twitter, but Coleen has yet to publicly address any of this. Her tour is cancelled, so all she can really do is play that ukulele in her room.
The toxic gossip train, you got a one-way ticket to manipulation station. Toxic.
Now, I'm not the only YouTuber who caught wind of this story. Our very own Trisha Paytas talked about the situation on her new podcast, Just Trish. Trisha has actually taken these accusations head on since she publicly dissociated with Coleen and has been surprisingly vocal about everything. Adam reacted to her podcast in a video titled My Apology to Trisha Paytas. He starts off the podcast by saying that Trisha has done a lot in her past, but he wanted to cover this topic. Trisha's video was released with a live premiere, and people were in the chat saying that Adam makes videos of Trisha and asking how she feels about that. She responded with "so irrelevant" and had this to say to Adam in the chat.
She said, "I am very sorry for everything you went through, and I'm sorry for not saying anything sooner. I've never seen something like this with any creator, and I am still in shock by it." So she said this in the chat.
He says that there are behind-the-scenes things also happening between them. Trisha talked to Adam about how Coleen reached out to Trisha and said that these boys, as in Johnny and Adam, were lying about Coleen sending Trisha's nudes later, prompted Trisha to make that video exposing her whenever she saw the screenshot of evidence that Coleen lied to her. Well, according to what Adam said, it turns out that Coleen actually reached out to Trisha after Trisha had released her video. So Trisha and Oscar, her co-host, touched on this topic in her new episode. Oscar starts off by explaining to Trisha,
"Did you see the whole Vanity Fair article drama with Adam McIntyre?"
Okay, so like obviously it's like it's so much. I didn't see it. No, the whole thing is like super triggering from the beginning. Like there's just so much that I like didn't say, haven't say. Like just a lot.
Everyone was making such a big deal about it that I was like, how crazy could it be?
Yeah.
And I'm someone with like a journalism background. Like I went to school for like work in it, and I was pretty gagged at the article because it was so focused on avoiding blame and stuff, and it was so focused on making Adam like the scapegoat for all the recent like Coleen drama, and that's what I was most interested in, why, like how this article came to be and why it was so extreme in pointing all the blame on Adam, who was only like a fraction of everything that happened.
They talk about the article in detail from the title itself and the fact that they call it, quote, drama, and say that it is tearing YouTube apart, with Trisha saying, "I don't think we're torn apart about this." They point out that they only named Adam McIntyre other than Coleen, and Trisha was shocked that they called Adam a, quote, whistleblower. She deeply exhales and calls the whole topic super triggering, not only because she knew Coleen personally, but because she has experienced being huge fans of people and had her perception changed on what happened because of their fame. She was shown pornographic materials when she was younger that set her off on a negative path, and she doesn't want to look into it too much because it was, quote, way too triggering.
Coleen and Adam, because the reason I don't like look into it much is like it's very triggering, but like hearing that, this is so hard to have, like the whistleblower thing, calling someone that is a lot, like, you know what I mean? Because no matter how you look at the situation, like Adam was a minor. Adam was a fan of somebody and he was made to feel some type of way, you know what I mean? He feels like he was like manipulated, he came out the story, and it's like to diminish it, I guess, like I said, and just call him like a whistleblower to make it seem like it's for attention or something is like really ick on Vanity Fair's part, you know what I mean?
Trisha was totally shocked that Adam wasn't reached out to at all for comment for this article. She says that everything seems super clear here, and despite their differences, she completely supports Adam. They have had a tough past, and so Trisha had him blocked and genuinely didn't see all of these things until it completely blew up. She says even if you dislike him, it doesn't mean that he isn't a victim and he shouldn't be taken seriously. Adam talks about the reason she blocked him, and it was a huge misunderstanding. So if you were on Twitter in late 2022, you might remember the day Queen Elizabeth of the British monarchy died. Now, there were tons of memes about this, particularly from members of countries that the British monarchy once colonized or attempted to colonize. Now, during that time, Trisha was pregnant with Malibu Barbie and her due date was near, and so some joked that Trisha's baby was the reincarnation of Queen Elizabeth. Twitter is wild, y'all. So Adam explains,
and she says that the reason she blocked me online was because I called her baby a spawn of Satan. I ended up apologizing to Trisha for how this came across, and I genuinely mean it, but what happened was, when the time that Queen Elizabeth died, and by the way, as an Irish person, I despise Queen Elizabeth and I despise the monarchy. When Queen Elizabeth, the time frame of whenever it was first announced that she was hospitalized to whenever she died, I mean, Irish Twitter was just absolutely, free Ireland. Sorry, I don't want to get besides the point here. I want to get to my point. So that entire week on, especially Irish Twitter, which I was engaging in, was clowning on the monarchy and clowning on Queen Elizabeth. So during that time frame was whenever the memes online started happening of Trisha Paytas is about to give birth and Queen Elizabeth is about to die. Trisha Paytas is going to give birth to Queen Elizabeth. Then Trisha started also engaging in them. And Popgrave did a tweet and were like, they had just tweeted that Queen Elizabeth was about to die or something like that, right? And then they tweeted, Trisha Paytas is about to give birth. So I responded to the Popgrave tweet about Trisha about to give birth. And I went, oh my God, little baby Satan is incoming. And then my tweet after it was in reference to Queen Elizabeth. I would call Queen Elizabeth Satan anyway. I shouldn't have tweeted it under the Malibu Barbie tweet.
he then reads out his email that he sent to her to apologize, and they seem like they are good. Originally, since he had accused her of only getting involved after and included her, but in her video, she said that when she saw her own nudes getting involved, she started looking into everything farther because she had him blocked and avoided things to do with him she had no idea. She gets super passionate and upset about this article that they go over the fact that they allude to Trisha but don't mention her by name. In the article, it reads, McIntyre and another former fan have also alleged that Ballinger sent them nude photos from a sex worker.
Unverified, if troubling text messages as proof.
Wait,
So,
unverified? What is that saying?
They're saying that the screenshot, Colleen did not verify that those are her screenshots, basically.
But it's literally her friend, next to it. Who else is sending that?
Again, that's why the word, the wording in this whole article is just so odd. And
how are you gonna not name my name? Call me a sex worker. Not name my name, but your name Adam McIntyre, who does not have the same sort of
platform.
numbers, same platform, same anything. Who's also the minor at the time, the fan at the time, all this stuff like that, but you're not going to mention anyone else's name.
They suspect that although it's negative feedback, because it's clickbaiting, well, they're keeping it up. Trisha is super shocked that the author blocked Adam, and she confirms that Colleen sent her an apology, and Colleen admitted that she had lied to her. She talks about how she feels like there should be legal grounds for Adam, and Colleen should really make a public statement.
All I'm going to say is that there is now a text message from Colleen Ballinger admitting that she was sending Trisha Paytas' nudes to her fans. Andrew Brettler, has your client Colleen Ballinger informed you that she has just admitted to a crime?
Well guys, that will be it for today's video. Adam said that this isn't over and kept implying that he's taking legal action behind the scenes. Could this be another famous YouTube defamation case? I wonder if Ethan from H3 could help out because he's famously successful at these and also has covered this heavily and has a relationship with Adam from the past. As always, feel free to leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new tea spills from us. And for now, here's some much needed eye bleach.